Good morning again, everyone. My name is Andrew Parnell. This is Vladimir Jornitsky, and we're the co-founders of birdfeud. At birdfeud, we start debates to help companies engage better with their online communities. And this morning, we're going to show you how our innovative new tool works, the success we've had so far, and our plans for the future. And we're going to show you how we help companies stop making the biggest mistake of all, putting millions of dollars in Mark Zuckerberg's pocket as opposed to their own. It all started about 2 years ago when we noticed that conversations were raging out on social media, but very few businesses were taking that energy on their sites at all. Then Kalahari Resorts came to us and asked us if we could build them a custom solution that would help them engage with their online communities on their own website. Unfortunately, since that was neither the priority or the business model of the business that we worked for, we had to turn this contract down. Now, that hit me pretty deep because my personal passion is all about helping people solve their problems with technology. And we knew that if Kalahari had this problem and was willing to pay for a solution, other brands would be as well. And we were right. Hotels.com recently released an official RFP asking for someone to build them a platform that would enable them to have conversations with their social audiences on their website. And that's exactly what we built birdfeud to do. And how do we do that? Well, conversations. People want to be heard. That's why they're on social media. We just needed to give them a platform to do that. Let's take an example of one of our clients, interviewing.com. We start off by asking a simple question. Is the traditional paper resume dying and being replaced by the virtual resume? Give them two sides to debate, put it out to their audience, and see what happens. One user comes in using his Twitter account, logs in, and posts this on interviewing.com. Notice the automatic short link that keeps bringing people back into this article. You can see as more people debate, this keeps getting spread out across social media and more people come on and read this article and talk about this problem. This is how the non-branded solution looks embedded on their website. Now, since this is embedded on a website, it works across your desktop site, your mobile site, all sorts of different uses. You can also use it for a variety of topics, politics, entertainment, even the most important sports questions of our time. All right, let's talk some numbers. So based on our clients that have been running since September of 2012, content with the birdfeud tool on it is shared socially twice as often as content without it. And what we really care about, engagement, there are 7 times as many responses to content with the birdfeud tool than content without the birdfeud tool. How do we make money? Pretty straightforward. We work with enterprise brands that pay us a monthly service fee for access to the tool as well as additional services. Average clients are about $4,000 a month. Now, while we focus on the enterprise brands, we also provide additional solutions for smaller blogs and more smaller businesses that will average about $2,000 a year instead. Let's talk about some of our clients. One of our existing clients is Chicago's very own pet grooming company, Bark Club. We're also in conversations with key decision makers at brands like Miller Coors, ESPN, Gatorade, Cottonelle, Butterball, and of course, Hotels.com. And with our strategic partnership with Creative Convergence and Y&R Chicago, which you'll hear more about in a moment, we have access to hundreds more consumer brands and brands in Hollywood.
All right, so hopefully Andrew's gotten you all excited about the opportunity. Now I'll bore you with the details. One of the things that he just brought up is an efficiency that we found in our go-to-market process, which is that we work with agencies and intermediaries to actually reach their customers. So we found that agencies, social media advisors, social media groups know the market, they know what clients need, and they're looking for solutions like ours to include as upselling propositions or as part of their offering. And that's really where partnerships like the one we have with Creative Convergence, who are part of the Sparkplug Innovation Program at Y&R Midwest, and with other agencies such as SoMe Connect and Influence & Company have really helped us go to market sort of quickly and actually find clients that can give us quick feedback and good turnaround. In terms of the competitor space, social media, obviously a very, very crowded field. What we've actually found is that not many companies are doing exactly what we're doing. We have a lot of indirect competitors and very few direct ones. Usually what we've found is that companies like Discuss and Twitpoll will take one or the other half of what we're doing. Either they handle, say, companies' comment systems or how users talk to each other on the company website, or they go directly for social media management. We'll sort of handle your Twitter. We'll analyze your social media. birdfeud is really a holistic solution that combines those two factors and really is a platform that cuts across different venues and really syncs up the engagement of a company's users. One of our other advantages relative to our competitors is our broad skill set as well as our deep domain-specific expertise. Sorry, can you go ahead to this? All right. So we have over 10 years of experience in the social media and internet services space. We've handled, in our previous company, Andrew and I helped manage an audience of millions of extremely engaged online users, and we dealt with an extremely similar problem space of how do we actually get engaged social users onto the web and vice versa. Additionally, our team has project management, product management, technical architecture, data analysis, marketing expertise at a number of companies like Thomson Reuters, the Acuity Group, the New York City Philharmonic, so on and so forth. One area of less expertise for our company is the finance, and one of the things we're looking for in investment and partnership will be to buffer that section, maybe even hire a CFO, so on and so forth, just in the interest of full disclosure. We've also benefited from some great advisors and partners. Jason Lindgren has helped with our go-to-market strategy as well as early sales strategy. He's actually a partner in the business as well. And we've also gotten great advice from Dave Culver here at VentureShot, and of course our contacts at 1871, Creative Convergence like I mentioned, and we've also been working on building out creative for our enterprise clients with partnership with Ryan Hopak, who's a writer for some game shows that you certainly have heard of. We currently have $21,000 in revenue, so we're already making money. We expect to have $60,000 in contracted revenue by the end of August. We plan to be revenue positive this year. We started selling only about 3 months ago, so we're already very happy with our progress. And it's just a matter of being able to move forward, go to market in a timely fashion, and really spread the business out. Our strategy, roughly speaking, will look to be revenue positive this year. Within the next 2 to 3 years, move the company to being acquirable as we sort of diversify the offering and really build the business out into a sustainable place. So, what are we asking for? We're looking for $250,000 as a total raise. It's a risk mitigating, money making opportunity because despite our, sort of airy social media, well, we're on the internet, so on and so forth, we do actually make money. We want to make sure that our investors can make money as well. We want to mitigate your risk with a combination loan and revenue share. You would get 10% of revenue for the total raise. Half of that goes to paying the principal, half of it goes directly into your pocket. We feel that this is a unique offering relative to our competitors in our sector, and so we really just want to help make you a part of that. What are we going to use the money for? Well, like I mentioned, sales and the sales cycle is our main challenge and the main thing that we want to bolster out. So in addition to maybe bringing on more financial partners, we just want to go to market, build out that piece, reach more enterprise clients, and really be able to grow the business. I know for a fact that the company will make money, but the speed at which we're able to go to market, the speed at which we're able to get important clients and really bolster the business out is really critical for the business's success.
Okay, so just to wrap up real quick, what do we have? We have an innovative, functional product that's actually live and working for clients. We have existing clients and existing revenue. We have an experienced and passionate team in the space. And we have a risk mitigating and money making opportunity for investors. Thank you very much. We look forward to your questions.
Great guys. Thanks. Let me I see that being a future problem. Okay, so great job, first of all. Excellent that we picked you guys to start. Thanks, Bob. Second, maybe you could just, what happened to the presentation? Yeah, put the slides up because there's a very good chance that that the investors may want to ask you some things. So the other thing I would say is, so on your opportunity, risk money opportunity, would you guys consider a pure equity investment, and or could you maybe explain that whole thing because you blazed through it a little bit? So let's go over the offer and then the actual other option.
Of course, do you want to pull up that slide? It's already pulled up? I meant the other one. Yes, so to answer your question, Dave, we just talked about one offering here. Of course, we put this offering because we think this is a good differentiator, risk mitigating approach for investors. But of course, we are welcome to do kind of a traditional equity raise as well. For that, we were valuing a pre-money valuation of the company at $1 million, raising for the $250,000, which would be about 20% of the company that we're giving away for that.
Yeah, we're certainly amenable to a more traditional equity-based investment. It's just a matter of we felt that this is really a unique offering relative to our sphere. That said, we're not married to it. We can talk.
Can I explain it again? This one.
Sure. All right. So in addition to if you're more interested in an equity-based investment. Basically, what this is all about is it's a loan and revenue share combination. Because this is a company that we plan to be profitable in 2013 and obviously going forward, we feel that we can provide investors with a risk mitigating opportunity in the sense that you get a return on your loan as well as a portion of revenue share of the company. So that's gross revenue.
Okay, so that would, and I'll give it to Mike in a second. So that would be a 10% interest rate and then rev share on top of that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll let you guys turn your mics on, and whoever wants to start can ask.
I'm still curious about how this loan works. So I give you $250,000,
Yes.
and you give me payments back. You pay me over how long?
Yes, so about 2 to 3 years, we can work out the details on that, but we would pay the entire loan back with interest, and then on top of that, you also get a revenue share as well, as long as until the loan is paid off.
And what's the percent of revenue share?
So 10% revenue share, 5% would go towards paying off the principal of gross.
So as you give me revenue share, I have to deduct that from the loan as well?
So some
and
of-
you make payments on top of that?
On top of that as well, yes. So some of that is going back to paying back the principal, and then some of that is going straight into your pocket. And all of this is negotiable. This was our approach on it, but this is really details we would work out with the individual investor.
Whose idea was this?
It's from feedback from a lot of different people.
So what's your effective interest?
No talking stick, no talk.
So what's your effective interest rate?
So over the lifetime of the loan, we expect to return about 3 times the total amount. So actually, no, it's about 3.5. So,
3.5 times 250,000
Right.
Yes.
to the investor
Yes.
in interest, not in
combination-
principal. Oh, then don't give me the combination of principal repayment because I'm owed that money. What's my interest? My plain interest. What's my effective interest rate?
10%.
10% per year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Plus revenue.
Plus revenue share. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I should have been more clear. It's 10% effective interest rate, and then plus the revenue share,
Yes.
which obviously depends on how much revenue you get.
Of course, Mike.
I got a couple more questions. But
Sure.
by the way, I thought this was a very polished presentation. You guys
Thank you.
clearly put some time into it, clearly practiced it. You guys were smiling. You guys put on a good show.
Thank you.
It's one of the biggest things that I don't see a lot. Did you guys actually start Sparts?
No, so we did not found Sparts Media. I was the 4th employee. Our co-founder that's not here tonight was the 2nd employee, and Vladimir, I think, 12th employee. So the 4 co-founders were all early employees at that company and grew it, I think we had it on there, grew it from 4 people to 25 people, and then moved on to start this business.
And this is where you got that contract from Kalahari.
This is the one that we did not take that contract, but that's where that came up, yes.
And what does Sparts do?
Sparts does basically, they're an online media network, so they make their own websites, make ad-based revenue, basically based on an audience of 13 to 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a media company that makes ad revenue.
Your current team right now is 4.
Yes,
4 full-time.
4 full-time, yes.
I had a little question in terms of your revenue side. You had $4,000 was your average per month, and then you had a lifetime of 48,000. So are you expecting people to only be with you for a year, or is this an ongoing?
Yeah, so our estimation was that on the average, yes, an enterprise client would be with us for 12 months is what we estimated, yes.
Okay.
Now we expect, sorry, just to follow on to that really quick. We expect enterprise clients to have a reuptake after they finish a particular campaign, but the lifetime of a campaign will usually be 2, 3, maybe 4 quarters. So far our conversations with enterprise clients have mostly revolved around, well, how can we fit this into sort of our next broad campaign cycle for the next fiscal year? So that's where we got the estimate of about a year engagement. That said, I mean, certainly we'd be up for a longer engagement with each individual client.
Well, to get an idea in terms of enterprise clients, obviously probably the hotels.com, you've got the RFP out there. I'm assuming you've gone through that and you're probably looking towards going towards that?
Yeah, so we're in conversation with them. We've been talking to them for a couple months now. I mean, I think their goal was Q3 or Q4 for that, so we're not finished with that, but we're negotiating that right now.
What are they looking at in terms of a life of the contract, and then also as a comparative in terms of the 4,000 versus where they're aiming for in their revenue, their cost structure?
Sure. So for the lifetime of that campaign, I believe that campaign was 6 months. I'd have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure that one was 6 months. And we pitched them 4,000, and they instantly said, yeah, that's fine. Which actually we've gotten some feedback that we should raise our prices a little bit based on some feedback because they accepted that number. So
for hotels.com, it's part of a broader, I think, branding effort that they're doing, and we fit into that. And I mean, they had no issue with the price point to as Andrew said, almost suspicious extent. But yeah, so that's 6 months would be the engagement.
Okay.
What's taking so long?
That's a good question. So what we've learned in this business, some of the things we've learned is that B2B sales take a long time. So it's talking to their initial team, then talking to their creative team, seeing how it fits in with their general ad campaign, then talking to their legal system, getting a contract worked out, just a lot of moving parts that we're going through right now.
Part of it is dealing with having connections that get us to getting in the door is a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, we've gotten conversations that we would not be able to get otherwise by any means. We would never have gotten in the door at Miller Coors, for instance, if we hadn't had our friends at Creative Conversions at Y&R help us get in that door. The flip side is I feel like it's part of what's pushed the sales cycle out so long. They said, oh, we're extremely excited, but it's our first time meeting you. Let's talk again in God knows how long, right? The follow-up conversations, getting that, has just taken more time than we initially anticipated, but in retrospect, we've looked at comparables, and it's not out of whack for what we're trying to do with the enterprise sales.
You had a presentation with a conversation with Hotels.com. Have you actually submitted a formal proposal?
Yes, we've submitted a formal proposal to them. We're still negotiating that right now.
Do you know when are they having a select down in terms of coming up with finalists?
I'm not actually sure the details on that. This one was actually one of the reasons we had this in the new presentation was this was in the last month, so I'm sure there's going to be more on that, but we don't have those details right now.
How much money have you guys put into the deal so far?
We've put in, as a group, the founders have put in about $50,000 into the business.
It's probably a
little bit more, 55, 60.
Okay.
My question's about sales. You kind of briefed.
Sure.
You want a CFO. I mean, what are you going to do for sales? Are you going to hire a full-time sales team, or what's your story?
Yeah, so right now our primary sales avenue is going through these agency partners, so Creative Convergence, SoMeConnect. So we're doing some of these sales through the agencies. Our goal for this raise would be, yes, to spend a lot of that on getting, a sales lead, someone who can build a sales team around them, as well as a sales force to go out and sell this tool to the enterprise brands on our behalf.
Yeah, in the medium term, we absolutely want to build out our own sales force, really be able to go to market effectively, because as I think I mentioned in the presentation, it's not an area that we have deep expertise in. Some of our advisors and our partners have been very helpful, but it's sooner or later, we got to grow up and do it ourselves.
So you guys have 4 full-time people working for you. What do you guys do every day?
So every day, a lot of it is talking to clients. It's talking to prospective enterprise clients. It's going out and doing pitches like the Butterball pitch, the Cottonelle pitch, going out doing those. It's finding new leads, working with these salespeople. It's a little bit of managing the development on our side. Not too much, actually, since most of the platform is finished and live, but making tweaks, making sure that it's all the bugs are fixed, adding some features. This is also available to the public right now. We put out debates to kind of keep getting feedback on the tool, how we can change things. So it's a little bit of managing our own audience to keeping it growing, as well as learning from venture shotting, doing events like this, and keep growing as a business.
So just a quick breakdown as well. We have one of our
And closing a lot of small customers as well to get us up to this growing revenue.
Yeah, so one of the things Andrew does is order fulfillment client satisfaction for our smaller clients, our case studies, or small business clients. We also have one full-time developer, so he's developing 100% of his time. We also have a marketing manager, and then I help Andrew with these sales. We deal with clients, also research, analytics. We don't touch on it that much, but we have a pretty deep analytics piece as well in terms of what we provide to the client for what data they're getting from their users, who's participating, et cetera, and as well as new product development.
One of the reasons, just to touch on that, why we don't put too much on the data is here is because we did that originally and people were sometimes confused thinking, oh, we're a data company and these debates are for getting feedback from users and getting data for the company. That's not really the goal. The goal is engagement. It's to get the users talking. It doesn't really matter what the answer to the question is. It's more about getting those people a conversation with the brand. So while we track that analytics and why you know your customers and we provide that data, we don't want to explain to people that that's the primary business.
So just to summarize, in terms of the people that you've got one person that's a full-time developer, and then you've got 3 people in sales and marketing. So you had, I think, 50% of your spend you were going to use on, actually, if you had it in marketing, I think it was like 75, 80% of your budget you were going to spend on sales and marketing. Are you looking at having more people come in? I mean, with 3 people there, that seems like a pretty decent sized sales and marketing team.
Sure, we're doing that right now because that's what we have to do to grow the business. We're looking for a sales manager who can kind of lead that and take that, so we're not leading the sales. We're still part of the pitch, obviously, as the founders of the company, but we're looking for someone to take on that so that they are the lead of the sales, build a sales team around them, and help us manage the rest of the business.
And what are you going to do once that task is now on their hands.
Sure, so there's a lot more things we can do. One of the things that we also didn't touch on here is that we don't think that this specific embeddable debate tool is going to be the end-all perfect solution forever. So one of the things that we think will grow the business, and I think we mentioned diversify in there, is talk to clients, figure out what's the next thing that they need. Because ESPN isn't going to see this and be like, yep, we're done, that's all of our problems. They're going to have more things that we can help with and more tools that we can build for them. And so that's one of our goals is going to be, we can't now go launch a different tool. We can't do that. We need to make sure this works and sell this. Once we're able to sell this and be successful, we can go to ESPN and say, hey, we have this tool too that can help you with this problem we noticed. So that's where I think we diversify more than just we have this one debate widget.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Phil. One of the things that we currently are more or less bottlenecked by the sales cycle. So what this will do is free up, for instance, I have my background is in economics, data, and analytics, and there's a number of pieces that we want to build out as far as an internal analytics platform and new features that we wanted to add to the tool that I have paid almost no attention to, since right now we're focusing on getting these clients on board and getting the tool ready for sale. So what adding dedicated Salesforce would do, in addition to bringing us that critical expertise of who to go to market to and how to do it, would also free us up to diversify the product and increase the content offering.
Anybody else? Okay, great. Thanks very much. So each of the investors now is going to rate birdfeud and the guys as you're fundable, still fishing, or the dreaded go fund yourself. And then, and after that, what we've asked the investors, and this is where the help and contribution by the investors really comes in, is we've asked them to take and say if they don't find that they are fundable, or whatever they can do to provide the most value to what would make them fundable. So you guys have mics in front of you, so I'll let whoever wants to go first select. You've each got your own pile of cards there, and then please, after you're done rating them and crushing their dreams, then please give them something to help improve their opportunities.
I thought it was a great presentation. You guys put a lot of effort into it. You did a great job. I think you're a little optimistic in terms of dealing with large corporations and the turnaround time, the time they get back to you with a go or a no. It probably takes anywhere between 3 to 5 quarters. The small little pet shop that you have on Main Street, USA, those people can make decisions, within 2 weeks. Also, I kind of lost you on the financing, considering I'm a finance guy, so that might say something. But all in all, I think it's still fishing for the most part. But good luck.
Yeah, guys, I thought you did a great job presenting. A lot of the questions were answered in the presentation. I think that when it really comes down to it, I think you got a great vote of confidence in terms of what's coming out in Hotels.com and the fact that they released an RFP. I think that really validates at least the need in the industry. Now, of course, whether birdfeud ends up being that fit or not is a big question mark. But I think the need's out there, and I've actually seen your product before, and I think you guys are taking a good approach to it. So I gave you guys your fundable.
I think you're fundable too. I think the amount of money you're raising is reasonable. I think you are concentrating on the right things right now. I'm cautious about giving you the money and then having you buy a salesperson and focus on developing your product even further. I would like to see 100% of everybody's time spent on just sales. Okay. If you can't figure out how to sell this thing, then whatever better you make it, that's one of the traps people startups fall into. They keep developing and developing and developing and developing. So this is your good proof of concept tool. It's actually, I think, more developed than it has to be, but it is what it is. So, but I think that you're asking for a reasonable amount of money. I think your financing is creative. I think your willingness to negotiate is very good. So I think that you guys have a good offering here.
I was very impressed by your presentation. You did a very nice job. Speaking kind of fast, but you're excited. I could understand that. I also think that you're fundable. You present yourself well. I see the need in the social media, and I see how it's really coming on strong in corporate America and small America. And I am impressed by the fact that you realize your shortcomings. You know you need sales. And I'm kind of with Mike. You got to have sales before you have development and financial guys. Yep. You got to be having money coming in. Yep. So I'm very impressed with you. I totally think you're fundable, and you did a very good job in your presentation.
Thank you very much.